I have a client right now, nicest guy in the world. Nice. He told me, he said, listen, I got the same charge as your white client. And if your white client went down, they ain't going to cut me a break. It's the same exact charge. It's a molestation charge. He got a molestation charge. He's like, what happened to your client? I was like, he went to jail. He was like, well, did they take him into custody soon? I was like, yeah. He's like, what nationality was he? He was like, white. He's like, oh man, if they took him in, they'll take me in.
And your client is black?
Yeah. And he's like, hell no, I ain't doing it. And that's how he gauged it. That's how he gauged it.
He's African American?
Yeah. He gauged it based. He's like, if they did that to your white client, they ain't going to do me any favors.
Right.
That's
probably a legitimate perception from his point of view of the criminal justice system, I guess. If he was to look at what he sees on a daily basis, you're entrenched in the criminal justice system. Do you think it's that disproportionate, those kind of racial disparities? Or because sometimes you see people point stats out of like, this is the amount of crime committed by one community.
I don't think it's like that, but I think the appearance is
the appearance is bad,
the
and then
appearance scares them. There's always like a stereotype anyway behind it, and myths behind it.
Yeah.
So they think, oh, if he was white and he's an engineer and the judge took him into custody, then I'm toast.
So your client, I really want to push this point a little bit. I think it's important for people to hear this. So your client is a black man?
And by the way, this is still going on right now.
Well, can we talk about it? Do we need to?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
We're not giving anybody's identity away.
So I'm in the midst right now of going to trial on it's actually a rape case where it's a he said, she said, where he slept with his brother's wife. And
woo!
Yeah, woo! But they all went out partying and they're They go back to the residence. They wake up in the morning and they're in bed together. She claims, she's like, what happened? She's like, you know what happened. What
a piece of work she is.
Yeah, and she's like, I didn't authorize this. She's like, are you effing kidding me? He's like, no, I didn't authorize this. She's like, we were both wasted, so-and-so. And she's like, we might have been wasted, but look at you, you're ugly. And then she goes online and she calls my gun ugly gremlin. I would never have sex with them. I call it PSR, post-sex regret. You know, some girls sleep with a guy and they're like, I can't believe I slept with him. I was so drunk.
It's probably most girls.
Yeah. And, well, you shouldn't say that.
Just
You're going to get attacked.
I'm kidding. Obviously kidding.
So, well, yes. So basically, we're going to go to trial. And he asked me, he was like, I just want to know something. Yeah. If I lose, am I going to go to jail? And he has no record.
This is a black man asking his criminal defense attorney, you, RJ Manueli, and he's like, bro, give it to me straight. Yeah. If I get convicted, what's happening?
If I get convicted, can I stay out of jail? And I said, I'm going to try. And he said, it's very important to me. I have a daughter. She's 9 years old. Nobody takes care of her. I need to take care of her. And I said, oh, that's good to know. And I said, well, I can't give you a guarantee. He said, have you been in this court before? Yes. Have you had this charge before in front of a court? Yes. Told him who the judge was. It was Judge Barada, who passed away. God bless his soul. I told him yes. And he's like, what happened? I said, I lost, but I had a great deal on the table. The guy just didn't want the deal. He wanted to roll the dice. So he said, okay.
Can I ask what the deal was?
Yeah, no jail. Walk away.
Wow. So you had that deal for your other client.
Yeah.
No jail. Walk away. Just take the freaking deal. And he's like, no, let's go.
No, he said yes.
Okay.
His family said, what did you pay the lawyer all this money for?
Exactly this.
No, take it to trial. You got a good lawyer. You could win. Go for broke.
No.
So we went for broke. No. And you know, he regretted it. He said, you know what? It was the biggest regret of my life. I spent a year in jail. So my current client...
And this is a white man, your other client.
He was an engineer.
Because this is a racial thing we're talking about, which is the perception.
He was an engineer for Boeing.
Right.
So my current client said to me, have you lost a case here? And I said, yes, that case. And he said, what happened to him? I said, he got remanded right away, just like Hannah Reed, Gutierrez Reed. And he said, oh. He said, well, that answers my question. I said, what's your question? I was going to ask to be not remanded, but he said, if they remanded a white engineer who works at Boeing, I'm definitely getting remanded.
Oh, yeah. I get how, yeah.
And I'm just saying.
He's certainly not wrong, and that's obviously his perception, and maybe it's true.
You know, I don't have stats on it, but that's his perception. And it's something, all I'm telling you is the optics are always there for judges. Judges know this.
Yeah.
They want to be even-handed. Judges want to be even-handed.
Yeah, I think the North Star for all of us is a criminal justice system, which really is colorblind.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Which applies the law to the facts.
Yes, yes.
Almost where you wouldn't even know what race the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator was.
Yes.
Like if we could put on Apple Vision goggles on all the judges and prosecutors and everybody, even defense attorneys like you, and you just could not even see the race of your client because they were a blank avatar, you know, and justice was truly blind. This is probably where we're trying to get to, but we're trying to get to that in our own minds without the freaking Apple Vision Pro, where we're like, I see this man, this woman in front of me, and I'm going to really just judge them by the facts, the law, and whatever else evidence comes into play, their content of their character, whatever else, right? Past.
So you and I are the most open-minded individuals. We're from California. We're very liberal. We don't look at skin color. I don't. I discriminate only against intellect. I don't like stupid people. I'll admit that, okay?
Yeah.
So I like smart people. So I don't care if you're yellow, red, orange. If you're smart, I'm going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
And I look for three things. I look for kindness, intellect, and I like a little bit of energy, all right?
Yeah.
So if you have all three, I'm going to be your friend.
Yeah.
So, but however, if you're a defendant, and from my client's perspective, you're looking at it through racial dynamics because you watch the news. You see what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd. You see what some judges do to some defendants. You see what happened to the verdicts in California years ago during the Rodney King riots. So, of course, there's some skepticism amongst certain cultures. I see it.
Yeah, and George Floyd, an event like that, a terrible, horrifying, tragic event like that gets amplified to crazy exponential levels through social media, through viral video, where it's just not representative of reality. It's one sort of like massively magnified event that we all look at, and essentially it radicalizes us, right? It radicalizes all of us to see that. And then you got to sort of step back and be like, yeah, but that was an incident that got magnified out of proportion for all of us to think that it's more common than it is.
But that's what people remember.
That's what you remember.
It's all optics. When you asked me, like, is that something that people consider? Yeah, it's people consider that, especially if you're African American, especially if you're Hispanic. You think about like, wow, if that white boy is going in, they're going to really throw me the riot act. That's how they think. My clients think.
I agree. I get it. In your professional opinion, is that the case?
No, it's not the case.
That's amazing for me to hear, and that's what I want to hear.
No.
That's what I want more kids to hear.
I think it's very even-handed, but in order for it to stay even-handed, the optics got to look right. Okay, what I mean by that is you can't give a Boeing engineer a pass just because it's a Boeing engineer.
Of course,
and the statistics may show that likely that engineer will be white. Right? I'm just saying it might be. The higher the odds that it'll be white. Just because it's a Boeing engineer doesn't give him a pass. So you should base it on the individual background.
Facts.
So let's go into Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, I don't think will go to prison because he has no prior background criminal history. Zero whatsoever.
Is that right?
He's a pillar of his community. He made a mistake. But if you switch it around, if he had criminal convictions, if he had...
Didn't he punch a cameraman and assault some people back in the day?
I think it was Sean Penn.
Okay.
Was it Alec Baldwin too? Oh yeah, he did. I don't think he got charged.
I'm joking. He's not a criminal. He's obviously not a real criminal.
So yeah. So let's switch gears and go right into it with.
Well, to wrap this up, I'm glad you said that the current actual situation on the race disparity, in your opinion, as an expert in the trenches defending these criminal cases daily, you feel that the system is more fair than maybe the perception of it is.
I could say for LA County for sure. I will tell you. And,
awesome.
LA County 100%, San Diego County 100%.
We'll take the win.
Ventura County 80%.
Shots fired.
San Bernardino County 80%. Now Kern County 60, 70%.
I see this is a good
Bakersfield, those areas, Fresno County 70, 80%. It's never going to be 100% in those areas because there's a little bit of leftover prejudice, I think.
Wow. We're getting like this accurate gauge of racial disparity throughout.
But it's still good. 80% is fantastic. We're talking about 20, 30 years ago. It was like 50-50 in some places, and the judges were just nasty people. It's a lot better.
Like pure racists.
I mean, it's the old judges. Once they're gone, once a new blood comes in, it's going to be 100%.
Right.
We have new blood in LA County. We have new blood in San Diego. We have new blood in most of these places. I'm talking about the old, the Archie Bunkers. You know Archie Bunkers, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's a couple Archie Bunkers out there. So once the Archie Bunkers are gone, we'll be good. But there's still a couple out there.
Okay. There's hope on the horizon.
Yeah.